The duty of son-in-law at funeral of his mother-in-law. Okafor was having a rough time in his business, but unfortunately, it was that very month he decided to relocate back home to Nnewi that his mother-in-law died. He was making a ridge where he would plant cassava in a small farm in front of his house when his childhood friend came to break the sad news to him. Okafor, your wife's mother just died at the hospital right now. I went to visit John at Mbole Hospital when they brought her in, but she died before the doctor could see her. Ndo, my brother, the talebearer barely finished before he noticed that Okafor had collapsed on the top of the ridge he was making. Before help could come, Mazi Okafor had died. Okafor was the husband of the only daughter of Nwanyeke, his mother-in-law. He must have been stunned by the reality of his responsibilities during the funeral of his in-law, or was felled by the sad news because the woman died at the time when he was in economic difficulties. He just returned home to take stock, sell one of the two plots he inherited from his father, and start motor parts business at Nnewi, only for his mother-in-law, who was never sick, to die just like that. In Nnewi and in most towns in Anambra and Igbo land, the husband of an only daughter is obligated to attend the funeral of his mother or father-in-law with a big cow. He's also expected to be accompanied to the funeral by his family members, Umunna, and with as many friends and relatives as possible. The number and quality of the entourage accompanying a son-in-law into the arena of the funeral shows the level of his social capital and how well and he and his wife attend both extended family's funeral invitations and other social functions. It's a referendum on the man and his wife. No sensible son-in-law would expect his wife's family to provide enough entertainment for his entourage. It is his duty to come along with sufficient food and drinks to entertain his guests, even though his in-laws will give his guests some drinks and food, but not enough to go round. Right inside the funeral arena at the canopy where the in-laws sit to receive visitors and mourners in turns, the son-in-law, led by elders of his Umunna, shall present to his in-laws the cow, bottled and unbottled drinks, wrappers, money, and some foodstuffs. His friends, family members, and entourage will also drop some money into a tray pan placed on the top of the table, meant for that purpose. All envelopes dropped into the pan are opened and the contents recorded. The family of the wife has a few seats away, someone with a notebook carefully recording every money and item presented to them for ease of reference. Nnewi people know the weight of attending the funeral of the parents of their wives. Hence, a brother is never allowed to carry the cross alone. The married male members of the extended family, also known as the Umunna, are required to gift the bereaved brother-in-law money and keg of palm wine or a carton of bottled drinks. Friends and relatives at home expect to accompany him to the in-laws. People living abroad, which are locations outside the Nnewi, also attend monetically by wiring their support. The contributions are made individually and collectively to lighten the burden on the man. Some could donate drinks or foodstuffs or both. A good man and someone who attends and contributes to assist others during such occasions never worries when it is his turn. He would be supported. As in most things in life, the tradition is skewed towards the wife of the man who is materially comforted as she dances to the tune of a musical group accompanying her husband's entourage, while clutching her mom's picture as her husband's relative and her friends outdo themselves in spraying her with raw cash and also adorning her with different types of wrappers. The quantum of what she gets depends on the social weight of her husband and people's perception of her personality. No one reaps where he or she didn't sow in Nnewi. If you don't get it, you forget about it. So when my father-in-law himself called to break the news of the passing of my mother-in-law, I didn't faint like Mazio Cavo, my townsman. I rather cried and wailed because my mother-in-law was an angel and very esteemed. But I felt a slight headache and dizziness when I learned that a big cow, the type befitting my status for presentation to my in-laws, now cost about 850,000 naira. The rising prices of other logistics is worrisome. Instead of collapsing, I decided to begin to make lists of all those who I had attended their own parents' funeral, and I had started sending invitations to them. I also ensure I sent the invites very early so that they will not say that I didn't tell them on time. I will not faint. I can't even try it. Otherwise, my brother-in-law, who is a general in the Nigerian military, will ask his boys to wake me up to perform my in-law duties. Unfortunately, my wife is the only daughter. I am the only son-in-law, and I learned that I am highly regarded by my in-laws. I fainted not. Material by Ikenga Ezenwebu, 23rd September 2023.